Have you ever noticed that the nicest women, the ones who are always available, always supportive, and never start a fight, are often the ones who get ghosted, cheated on, or replaced by someone who seems significantly more difficult? It feels like a glitch in the universe. We are taught from a young age that if we are kind, selfless, and agreeable, we will be rewarded with a loyal partner. But in the high-stakes world of modern dating and long-term relationships, pure agreeableness is often the fastest way to become invisible. Today, we are diving into the psychology of why nice girl syndrome is killing your attraction levels and how a concept called strategic resistance is the secret key to keeping a high-value man hooked for the long term. By the end of this discussion, you will understand exactly why being easy to get along with might be your biggest liability, and how to flip the script without becoming a toxic person. I'm Lena, and this is the Science of Attraction. To fix the problem, we first have to understand what it actually is. In psychology, agreeableness is one of the big 5 personality traits. It measures how much you prioritize social harmony over your own objectives. Now, don't get me wrong, high agreeableness is a beautiful trait for a mother, a nurse, or a best friend. But in the context of romantic attraction, being too agreeable creates a psychological phenomenon known as the predictability trap. Humans are hardwired to value what they have to earn. When you are always agreeable, meaning you always say yes to his date ideas, you never push back on his opinions, and you are always available when he calls, you remove the element of the challenge. You become a solved puzzle. Attraction requires tension. It requires 2 distinct poles. If you simply mirror his needs and never present a boundary, the tension disappears. You stop being a romantic partner and start feeling like an accessory. Furthermore, when you are always agreeable, you are often suppressing your true needs to keep the peace. Men, especially high-value perceptive men, can sense that lack of authenticity. It feels hollow, and it kills the deep soul connection they crave. So, why does he replace the perfectly nice woman? It is rarely because he found someone better. It is because he found someone vibrant. When a man is with a woman who has 0 resistance, his dopamine levels flatline. There is no win anymore. If he knows he can treat you with 50% effort and still get 100% of your devotion, his brain will begin to seek a higher stakes environment. We do not fall in love with people we do not respect, and it is psychologically impossible to deeply respect someone who does not have the teeth to stand up for themselves. Strategic resistance is the art of maintaining your own orbit while allowing him to enter it. It is not about playing games. It is about self-possession. The first phase of this is intellectual pushback. Stop agreeing with everything he says just because you want him to like you. If you have a different opinion on a movie, a political stance, or a life choice, voice it. A woman who can hold her own in a debate is infinitely more attractive than a yes woman, because it proves she has a mind of her own. The second phase is the time gate. This is the most common mistake. Agreeable women drop everything the moment he texts. Strategic resistance means your life has a structure that he must adapt to. If he asks for a last-minute date and you are planning to read or go to the gym, stay with your plans. It is not playing hard to get. It is being hard to get because you actually have a life you value. The third phase is the boundary test. When he does something that slightly inconveniences you, like being late without a text, the agreeable woman says it is fine. Do not do that. The woman of strategic resistance says that she values her time and would appreciate a heads up next time. Notice the difference. You aren't screaming or being dramatic. You are simply setting the price of your presence. This keeps him hooked because it creates a variable reward schedule. In psychology, the strongest way to reinforce a behavior is to not give a reward every single time. If he always gets the reward of your validation, it becomes a commodity. If he has to earn your approval through consistency and respect, your validation becomes a luxury. When you use strategic resistance, he stays in pursuit mode because your yes feels like a victory. He perceives you as higher value because you clearly value yourself enough to risk the relationship to maintain your standards. However, a word of caution is necessary. Strategic resistance is not cruelty. If you are 100% resistance and 0% warmth, he will eventually leave because the relationship feels like a battlefield. The golden ratio in relationship psychology is roughly 5-to-1. For every moment of resistance or boundary setting, there should be 5 moments of warmth, support, and genuine connection. The goal is to be kind but not weak, and loving but not lost. When you combine deep warmth with the resistance of a woman who knows her worth, you become literally irreplaceable. He won't look for a replacement because he hasn't even finished winning you over yet. Many women fear that if they stop being agreeable, they will lose the man. But the truth is, you only lose the men who were looking for an easy target. A high-quality man is actually looking for a partner who can act as a mirror and a challenge. He wants someone who forces him to level up. If you are constantly smoothing the path for him, he never has to grow. Over time, he will grow bored of the path you've paved and look for a mountain to climb elsewhere. By being that mountain, by having peaks and valleys and areas that are difficult to navigate, you ensure that his attention remains fixed on you. Consider the difference between a video game that is too easy and one that is challenging. If you win every level on the first try with no effort, you put the controller down and never pick it up again. But if a level is difficult, if it requires strategy and focus, you become obsessed with beating it. Relationships work on a very similar neurochemical loop. Strategic resistance provides the difficulty level that makes the ultimate win of your love feel meaningful. When you start implementing this, you might notice a shift in his behavior almost immediately. He might seem surprised or even slightly frustrated at first. This is a good sign. It means the solved puzzle just changed its shape. He now has to pay attention again. He has to recalibrate. He has to actually look at you. This is where the spark is reborn. You are no longer a background character in his life. You are the lead protagonist of your own, and he is a guest who is working hard to keep his invitation. In conclusion, being replaced isn't a reflection of your lack of value. It's often a reflection of your lack of boundaries. Agreeableness is a virtue, but in excess, it is a cage. Break out of that cage by honoring your own time, your own thoughts, and your own space. Show him that your love is a prize to be protected, not a service to be expected. If you start treating yourself like a high-value mystery, he will spend the rest of his life trying to solve you. I want to hear from you in the comments. Have you ever felt like being too nice backfired? Let's talk about it. And if you're ready to stop being the girl who gets replaced and start being the woman who stays on his mind, make sure to join our community here. I'm Lena, and I'll see you in the next one.